Good afternoon, Gman Division 3A. This is your week 9 recap, and as always, Bernie Booth1 is here. Unfortunately, Hunter isn't. God damn it, he's working, but I have a treat for you this week. I have none other than Zunk himself with us. Good afternoon, Zunk. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Bernie. Hi, Orc fans. Welcome to the show.
Good stuff. I'm really happy you're here. Unfortunately, Hunter's given me a list. He said, right, whatever you do, you've got to throw some questions at Zunk. You know, you're like royalty. So, you know, we've got to like curtsy and bow and all that stuff, apparently. And, and ask you a lot of stuff. But we'll ask you about your game later on. The one, obviously, you've just played against them nasty Dark Elves. But how was your season gone? How do you feel it's gone so far?
Coming into this season, my Orcs had suffered a lot of setbacks with dead blitzers, and so this season the mission was to build. The team also has had a couple of strange level ups that like the strengths on Killjoy, the strength 6 Black Orc, and the 2 diving tackle blitzers, but they're long-term moves because they've got those skills. They're missing a lot of the core stuff. I've no piling on. Until recently, I've been really light on tackle, partly due to we lost the primary tackle killer blitzer. And so when we started the season, although you were very you and Crystal were very kind to tip me as one of the contenders, the team's not that effective yet. They're not that much kill skill, and I had a couple of diving tackles, sure, but I didn't have any tackle to go with it. And so it's panned out pretty much as I expected, that we've got mid-table obscurity, but it's looking good for the future.
And that's the thing, isn't it, with private leagues, as I've said before. Some people just try and win the league every season, and the problem with that is if you do really, really well and your team's not very good, then you're going to go up against go into the high divisions, and then you're just going to get murdered anyway. It's better to like you said, is build and get your team into a really good spot. Me and Hunt have talked off air and on air about your diving tackle. I really like it. I took down tackle on my bull centaur, and I got absolutely ripped to shreds for doing it. But the amount of games he's won or has helped me win is amazing. And I was really happy he went down the diamond tackle route instead of the dodge route, because I just thought he offers you a bit more. And now you've got tackle on them, it makes them really, really dangerous. So even elves, the dodging around a 4+ from one of these guys. And,
it's controversial, but it's different, and it's a bit of a laugh. These Orcs, as you know, are invincible. They never lose. At least that's what I tell them. It's all about morale.
I didn't lose. I got dice. That's the saying, isn't it? It's like
no. They just ignore the score. Just tell them they won and give them all an apple, and they're happy. Because that's the thing with Orcs. You've got to keep them on the up. Once the heads drop, it's all over.
As long as they kill something or beat stuff up, they never lose, do they? That's the thing. They're always winning if they can beat stuff up.
You just don't tell them the score. Just keep it forward.
or put a fake score on or something. But I like the team. Like I said in the preview, we was. I love Orcs anyway. I have a soft spot for Orcs, and I just like the way they're built and everything. So I'm hoping they'll do well. And like I said, coming into this game, you were, I think, your last 2 at least, so you was in a bit of form, and it's just about getting them Black Orcs developed, isn't it? Obviously number 7 needs to grow up a bit and get some guard and stuff, but it's a pretty good team, and you've got a thrower. I always think throwers are funny because people like them, people don't. You obviously like them, I guess.
Do you want to talk about this? Should you take a thrower in an Orc team or not, or is that a bit too specialised?
No, let's do it. Let's see what Zunk thinks.
All right. Well, we get asked this a lot. Right. The reasons why you don't want a thrower are they are armor 8 and they're movement 5. Those are the 2 primary arguments against.
Yeah.
They're slow and fragile, relatively. However, The alternative is that you carry the ball with a blitzer. And unless you want to hammer through your re-rolls and bang your head on the table, you need to give him sure hands and arguably kick off return. And once you start doing that, you've no longer got a player who's got guard, mighty blow, tackle, piling on, all the usual Orc Blitzer good things.
Yeah.
So my argument why you want an Orc thrower, it's very similar to why you don't make a Chaos Warrior a ball carrier. Because although he'll do a fine job in himself, you're losing one of your key positionals in effect. He becomes a weaker blitzer. He becomes a weaker Chaos Warrior because he doesn't function with the core purpose of his role as well.
Yeah.
So it's because of that. I'll tend to go with a thrower, and once you get him to kick off return and block, he's pretty decent. Is he slow? Yes, but the kick off return mitigates that. And as you can see from how long I've had my throw, this one's actually the second one I've had. I don't score with him. He picks the ball up and hands it to the right elf, who then goes to score.
There you go.
So for that reason, especially in a private league where team value is less of a concern than in Champs Ladder, I would always take a thrower. But it's not wrong to take a blitzer. You can make him a ball carrier, can win games, and it will be fine. I prefer not to.
Yeah, I wonder the same thing as yourself, because if you use a blitzer, that means you've only got 3, because the other one's obviously hidden away, and you want your blitzers because they're the fastest pieces you've got as well. So you want them mobile and doing stuff, and let your thrower obviously have the ball. And obviously, it gets your hands, and I'll save on re-rolls when you do fail the pickup. And I guess I know people say, well, he's only AB8, but the thing is, he shouldn't be getting hit. If he is the ball carrier, so
my throwers don't play on defense unless something's going terribly wrong, and they have to. But I run a deep bench, and they're there really pick the ball up and hand it to somebody else at some stage. But you've also got the fullback position that if you have to throw it, if you're running out of time, he's better at throwing it than a blitzer. So one of the things that just happened in the game I've just played, by the way, against the Dark Angels of Lilith, the potential for a one-turn touchdown equalizer, if you've got kick-off return and sure hands and blah, 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 that's better than a blitzer doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with the throw. I mean, it's something what's always being discussed. I mean,
you're going to ask me about trolls soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Might as well while you're here.
Is that on the list?
We're gonna get your thoughts on everything. Don't you worry. We're gonna make you work today. The trolls are interesting. I'm a big fan of the troll. Well, I say a big fan. I see my thoughts on orcs is they have to dominate the middle. If they dominate the middle, the line of scrimmage, whatever you want to call it, they'll win more games than they've done. And you've got 4 juicy big black orcs, but that troll at strength 5, and he's cheap as well. He's only 110k, and he gives you that, like you say, if you've got a goblin, a potential 110 scoring threat. I'm a big fan of them, but a lot of the players I know who play orcs hate them. So what's your take on the troll?
You've answered 60% of it.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Saves time, doesn't it? 110,000, and he's armor 9, and he's got regen. That's a big slice of it. He's strength 5, and his first skill is invariably guard unless you roll a double. So use the troll as stick him to inflict guard on people. Throw blocks with him only if it's 3 dice usually, or strategically doesn't matter that you might have an end of turn cheeky 2 dice if it really doesn't matter. So for my troll with guard is sitting at 130k, so I could have 2 line orcs with block. But what we're going to do with them, I think on balance, I 55-45 prefer having a troll. But it's not a strong position. It's entirely viable to play orcs without one. But I just, again, like the thrower, on balance, I prefer with. He's good value for money for what he'd cost.
Yeah, I mean that's it, isn't it? It's like I have horrendous luck with big guys, but I always think when I play orcs, I've got to dominate the middle, and having a big, massive thing like that, then obviously if you keep him stand firm as well, after he's got guard, and he can be an absolute pain in the backside by just standing there. And like I said, I always take a troll, but a
Well,
lot of people don't.
it also of course depends what you're playing against. And against the agility teams, he's a bit of a chocolate fire guard,
Yeah,
but against other strength teams,
yeah, like
and,
dwarves.
and he synergizes nicely with the Black Orcs. That it's another big strong thing with guard. That when you're playing against Nurgle or dwarves or chorfs or other orcs, even chaos, one of your best defenses to stay alive and win and make sure you try and get the numbers advantage over your opponent is denying him 2 die blocks. So if you can set down a bunch of strength 4, 5, and dare I say it 6 with guard, your opponent's looking at a load of 2 die uphill or 1 die at best blocks, and so
Yeah.
they don't happen or
Yeah.
they go wrong. So there's that as well.
Yeah, good stuff. We seem to agree on both. That's great. Great start.
Hooray!
How long have you actually played Blood Bowl then, Zunk? Is this something you played for a long time?
I first started in the late 80s with Edition 2 tabletop,
Right.
but this was just with pals playing, one-off games. I didn't go on a Tuesday night, go to a community hall somewhere and play in leagues.
Yeah.
So I probably played no more than, 30, 40 games in total.
Right.
Didn't play it for years, and then Cyanide came out. As soon as it did, it was like, that's for me, and I joined OCC. I'd actually missed the start of the season by a week, so I joined in season 2 of OCC, and I've been playing ever since.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Obviously, a lot of people know. Obviously, you are one part of the amazing tag team of obviously Davo and yourself. People have asked, how did you and Davo become the awesome duo?
How do we watch? Sorry,
Became the awesome duo. How did you two meet each other and build this brilliant Twitch you've got?
It's not very exciting. We back in the early days of Cyanide Blood Bowl, OCC and UKBBL shared a Ventrilo server, which shout out to Pidpad because he paid for it all. And so you'd get between up to maybe 20 people all hanging around in the same Ventrilo, playing challenge games against each other. Back when Blood Bowl was new and we were all playing games just for the hell of it. And it was Andy used to go in there, and so you talk to other people, just chit chat where you're from, and it turned out we were 20 miles apart, and so it was fancy a pint, right then, and that was it. Andy was single at the time, so he didn't have a girlfriend to keep happy, and so every other weekend probably he'd pop down. We'd play a game or two of Blood Bowl, typically our league games, and then have a curry and watch a film and have a couple of beers, and then he'd clear off on a Sunday. So it was that really.
That's amazing.
So that's how I met Andy.
There you go. I didn't even know you both lived close to each other. That is amazing. I mean, like I said, I'm biased. I mean, I try and pop into your show, and it's funny because I always think I get in trouble with Davo because I only go and watch you for Zunk because I just think you're funny and you talk a lot of sense. And I'm thinking because obviously I know Hawker as well. Obviously he's good friends with Davo and that. And so yeah.
Oh, we know Hawker. Yes.
Yeah.
I've met Hawker a few times.
he's a great guy, Hawker. And I would say, I like Davo. I'm a big fan of his, but I do like Zunk. I've got soft spot for Zunk. He goes, don't tell Davo that. But yeah, I mean, it's such a really good show, and obviously, it's been how long has he been streaming now? It feels like he's been streaming forever. Davo.
You silver-tongued devil. Well, I can tell you precisely. Our 2-year anniversary is next week.
Wow, I didn't know that. That sounds like I just plugged something. Wow, 2 years, amazing. Well, are you doing anything special for the show?
It's Andy. It'll be on whim. He came up with the idea of let's give everybody who hits 1 year and then 2 year subscriptions, some merchandise. We're having a look at doing mugs and t-shirts and hoodies and that kind of crap. Look, we're going to sell approximately 5 of each, and 4 of them will be me and Andy buying them. We're under no illusions. But he said, wouldn't it be a great idea if we gave everybody who was a subscriber for a year,
Yeah.
a mug, and 2 years we give them a t-shirt? And you go,
Fantastic.
well, yeah, but then I pointed out the financial implication that we would spend more on the mug and the t-shirt, double than what we'd earned from their subscription. So it's a lovely thought, as long as your pockets are deep enough, Andy, that you want to go down that route. So, maybe not quite that, but yeah. So how it came about is, you know, UKBBL? Are you familiar with the
I've heard of
UK
it.
Blood Bowl League?
Yeah.
Well, it was one of the early and still going strong. It was one of the first Blood Bowl leagues on Cyanide.
Right.
And every Monday night, Gav Coleman, or G Coleman as his Blood Bowl moniker is known, does a GCBC, this is the Gav Coleman Broadcasting Corporation, match of the day roundup. It's like this, but live on Twitch.
Right.
Where he goes round the houses, looks at who's playing, discusses some of the results, that kind of thing. And we used to guest on there periodically, partly because Andy's won it a lot.
Right.
And, you know, we know Gav, and it's always been quite fun. And Andy said, I'd been made redundant, so I was looking for a new job. And he said, I fancy streaming. Would you give us a hand? And it was, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. And we figured like 3 people would watch, but after a week, we about 100 people were tuning in. We had a lot of help early on from Sage and Kanur, and particularly.
Yeah.
And it just surprisingly took off quite quickly and has slowly grown ever since.
Yeah,
So
it's
there you
huge,
have it.
isn't it? It's huge, and obviously Dabo's a very good player. We know how good Dabo is. I mean,
I wish he'd just get his. I don't want to say it's all down to dice, but it's a factor. I've watched more of Andy than probably anybody else
yeah,
because I co-host with him, and I really do believe he is one of the better players around. He just is.
yeah. I
Um,
think most people would agree with that. To be fair, we've seen him play.
but he can't for the life of him manage to win Champ Ladder. You know, and every season he tries. Most seasons he qualifies, but just things crop up that just go, well, something bound to go awfully wrong, and sure enough, it does. But he's won OCC a couple of times. He's won UK BBL 5 times. His living room's got a sideboard that's buckling under the weight of trophies.
Right.
He's keen and he pays attention, and he's one of the better players I've ever played against. And he's my mate, so you know it's great fun streaming with him.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? If you stream with a good friend, then obviously it always comes across a lot better. And that's what me and Hunter do. We just have a laugh and we try and enjoy ourselves. But regarding the champion ladder, I mean, obviously it'd be great if you could get that. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have won 2 of them. But until I got my first one, everything like dice used to go against you, or you needed a 2+, you'd roll a 1 and trip skulls, or the crowd would throw it to them, and you just think you're never going to win one. But then if you are lucky enough to win one, then all of a sudden, like buses, 2 come along pretty quickly. So I suppose it's just a case of we know he's a very good player, and I've got a feeling if he does get one, he'll probably follow it up pretty quickly with another one. So hopefully,
he's all right. I don't.
He's won
think
so many things, hasn't he? So it's not.
I don't expect he's going to win Champ Ladder anytime soon. But one of the limiting factors is that we both work fairly long hours.
Yeah.
Plus, Andy's got young Megatron to look after, and the missus to keep happy. So what he can't do is on day one slap down a marker of there you go.
Yeah.
We're 3 days in. There's me 30 games. Beat that.
Yeah.
What happens is we play 4 or 5 games a week over the 6 weeks, and he can usually get into a qualifying position. But the problem he's got is to get there. He's slogged through fairly developed opponents to get there,
Yeah.
and usually goes into the finals with a team that's bobbins. The last time he went in, and I thought, you've got a team there that could do something, was over a year ago with a Chaos team.
Right.
But in the draw, they got Orcs, then Dwarves, then Shorts. And each game, he lost 2 key players every game.
Wow.
And by the 4th game, he'd got no players left.
Yeah.
It was...
And that's the thing. The draw is huge in Champion Ladder because you get a nice softer draw. You've got a great chance with whatever you've got. But if you get a really tough draw, then you rose up against it. But I'm sure he'll do.
He's had good draws, but with less good teams. And I think you need a little bit of a fair wind in your back to allow you to win it.
Yeah,
I think most of anybody who's qualified is automatically knows what they're doing. Unless it's one of the ogre teams or a stunty team that nobody happened to have played them, and some results have gone their way and they end up there. But most of the finalists, you can count as another way around a pitch. So he's not going to just turn up and win it but he's always a contender.
Yeah. So. Final question for you. I don't play tabletop. I haven't played for going back a long time now, but it's come up a bit. Do you play? I know Andy obviously plays tabletop very, very well. Do you play tabletop? And do you have any advice for people who want to start doing tabletop?
No, I don't. And any advice? Yes, ask Andy or any one of the countless tabletop players we know. I mean, there's a huge community. I mean, it depends what you want to know, but introduce them to Hawker or one of the guys who runs it.
Yeah.
Or the legions of tabletoppers. You're asking the wrong chap, I'm afraid.
That was nice and quick. But I mean, it seems like it's getting bigger and bigger as this tabletop malarkey, and obviously,
it does. Yeah.
Have you ever played in one of them, or is it just something you think?
I don't play, but I usually go to the NAF in Nottingham.
Oh yeah, what's just happened, hasn't it? Yeah.
Well, just usually to rock up and drink heavily with the Swedish team, and then have a curry and then drink some more, and then Saturday morning when the gaming starts, it's like I'll have breakfast and go, well, best of luck, fellas. See you next year. So I've visited, but have I competed? No. I work Sunday through Thursday, which puts the kibosh on stuff unless I deliberately take holidays. And there's quite a difference in muscle memory to cyanide versus tabletop. It looks different.
It does.
I remember playing it back when I used to. But when I played it last time, I played it was down at Thyrus's house. He's one of the commissioners of UK BBL,
right.
And it was like trying to write with your left hand. It's like, now I know this should. Oh no, what's that again? Which player is that?
Yeah, I watched someone, I think it was called The Last Tackle or something like that. The streaming in the NAF in Nottingham. I was trying to watch the game and I'm like, oh my god, what piece is what? And my eyes were just hurting. I mean, if I went and did it, I would be there just for the community and just having a laugh with everybody and get probably drunk or something stupid like that, or have a curry like I said. But it's something obviously because I'm on the PS4 circuit, it's come up a lot about people saying, oh, how would I get involved and stuff like that, and I just pass them on to Hawker. Because obviously Hawker, he's on PS4 now, so I was just interested to see if you played or not. But yeah, it is time consuming when you're working a lot, isn't it? That's the problem.
Well, Hawker's a great guy to talk to about it. He's one of the big cheesers over in the NAF community.
Yeah.
But there's a heck of a lot of the players that watch the streams, the various Twitch streamers out there. That if you were curious, pop into a big stream and ask the question, and you'll. Not only will you find meaningful answers as to how to go about it, you'll probably find someone who lives near you that can tell you exactly where and when to go.
Yeah. I mean, it might be the best thing for him to do is pop onto Andy's stream. I mean, I've actually got the picture on now where he's got twitch.tv/Andy Darrow. Go on there, plug in and find out the Discord, because you've got your own Discord channel as well, haven't you? You and Andy, so they can even
Bernie,
pop on there.
we do indeed, but Bernie, I've got to point out other streamers are available.
No, well, yeah, well, I'm I've got you on. I ain't got them on. I've got you on, so I know you guys will look after them. But you can always go on their Discord, and I'm sure someone in their Discord will help you if you are interested in tabletop.
I honestly think any of the streamers would do the same for you. But yeah, sure, if you pop along to ours, by all means. But any of them would do that for you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Right then, let's get on with the games of Week 9, and what better to start than Gorkas Idle Tendencies' victory over the Crusaders of Calador in a 2-1 victory. You'll be happy to know Hunter watched this game, and he said the bloody Orcs played very, very well, and they deserved their win, is what he said.
Wow, that's high praise, because Hunter's got a high bar.
Oh, yes.
It's not easy to impress Hunter.
It's not.
So I'll take that with great pride.
I would. And 75% ball possession. I'm all about ball possession, so I was very happy to see that. Totally domination in that way. Not many blocks thrown, so the Isles at least was trying to not get his team wrecked. But he said it was a good game. He said you controlled it very well. 2 Ks, 3 injuries. Always happy to get a few injuries there, and he thought he played really, really well. I mean, how did you feel the game went?
This was one of them where I don't think it was a complete I don't think it was a complete dicing, but enough went to plan.
Right.
I think he had a wizard fizzle, which didn't help him. God, I'm trying to remember it now. It was over a week
long
ago.
Time ago.
We didn't murder a load of elves early on, but we did enough with the diving tackle that stopped him moving around, and we managed to grind out a 2-1. So delighted to win one.
Well, you won against the Troughs last week, so you was on a bit of a roll. One thing I wanted to speak to you about is this New York Blitzer Weewar. I mean, what a guy this guy is. He's just started on your team. He even made the intro what we created. He's the face. He's the face of your team. He's only just started. He got 8 points this week as well. Spoiler alert coming up, but he did score for you this week as well against the Dark Elves. He did. He's getting to be, and he's only a young pup, but he's starting to become a bit of a superstar. I'm wondering if Phil the Kill Talk might be a bit jealous, because all we talk about is Weewar at the moment.
Weewar is wearing the cursed #1 shirt that was originally occupied by primary blitzer Tony Plays Poor, who died at 55-ish points, something like that. He was frenzy piling on tackle mighty blow, so proper kill orc.
Yeah.
He died. He was replaced by Roust Fools, who was tackle guard, because we need some tackle. And he died. Yeah. And so Weewar's now the third occupant of that shirt. Weewar is being fed touchdowns as he will take piling on next, which this team sorely lacks. Although we've got plenty of mighty blow, there's not that much in the way of teeth, and so we're not causing mass casualties week on week. So Weewar will be taking mighty blow he's got, piling on, then probably tackle and go that route. So yes, it's deliberate.
Yeah, three matches, 3 touchdowns. He's injured 3 players as well. Knocked out another. I think he's a little superstar, and hopefully he will be the driving force seasons to come for the good old Gorkas Idle Tendencies. But it was good to see he got a win there. Like I said, Hunter was very happy. I'm always happy because I'm biased towards Orcs, as most people know. So it was a good victory for yourself. So well done to you.
Well, the two diving tackle players were a big factor in the game against the Crusaders. So that was big, and of course, having the strength advantage, we managed to fend them off. So quite happy with that. About time we won, because we were drawing week after week, which was.
Yeah, I struggle from that when I played last year. I draw a lot more, than a win sometimes. But it's good. It's good as long as you get as long as you get the XP and progress your team. That's all that matters, really, isn't it? But a good win for the Orcs there. Now here's a team who's it was an admin win. That was. I was going to say a team that's been struggling with injuries is the Tall Dwarfs with no AV, but unfortunately I think what I've been told is his PC packed up, unfortunately, and they've had problems trying to fix it. So unfortunately, he has to give his game up this week against Space Bounty Hunters. So that went down as a 1-0 win for the Bretts. And it's interesting because Bretts this season in a lot of the Rebbl leagues are doing amazing. I mean, even in my division, Bretts are top.
Well, I've played both of these already.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a draw with both, or did we lose against the Berts? I can't remember, but both of them had a surprising amount of dodge. And with our evident complete lack of tackle at the time, we had one line orc with tackle. That was it. We couldn't put either of them down. And let me have a quick look at the results here.
Yeah, you lost 2-1. You lost 2-1 to the Bretts, and then it was a 0-0 draw between you and the Norse.
You're right. And with both of these, the games felt similar. That we were punching them, not. Well, the Bretts actually, I think we did knock them down a lot. They just didn't die. And with their added mobility, they'd got just enough guard. It was a right handful, right hard work. And when we played the Norse, they were in rather better shape than they currently are with all the blodge.
Yeah.
They've lost a few players since then.
It's been terrible. I feel
they need the Ulfwares leveling for me. Is that was the thing that this team doesn't have that most Norse teams do. The Ulfwares. I don't know if is Petmar number 3. Is he another replacement? Look, how many games has he played? Yeah, he's only 6 matches old, so he's 6 matches in and hasn't got a point. Whereas the other one's Blodge.
Yeah, the funny thing with that Petmar is when we took over a division, being Hunter division halfway through last season, and Deadman was in that division, and he had a Ulfware was number 3, but he had a -1 strength, so it was only strength 3 with guard and all that sort of stuff. Saying, well, why has he not got rid of him? Eventually, he did get rid of him, and this Ulfware has done nothing and no XP at all. So we're like, oh my god, maybe should have kept the other one. But he just had a bit of a bad run of casualties. Really, when they've been injured, they've been bad injuries.
Well, he's lost the Yeti again, which is when I think when I played him, he was using the Yeti as the primary blitzer a lot of the time because, of course, he's got claw against orcs, and he had mighty blow. I don't think he had his previous Yeti had block, but it's the player attrition that's killing him because he played well enough, absolutely played well enough, and when he had the Blodge players, I think he had. I want to say 5. This lot were a right handful, and the team have taken too much of a beating at the minute, and they're really a shadow of their former selves as they stand right.
Yeah, it's sad because, like I said, but that's what can happen with teams like Norse, isn't it? They can just like Rat, I suppose, can just implode in a season, unfortunately. But hopefully, more of a concern. Hopefully, he'll get his PC sorted and get back playing. He's one of the good guys for sure.
Yes,
Flylord 7. So this is a team I do believe Hunter picked out in the preview video, and they have been in such good form, and they got a big win this week as well against the Undead in a 2-0 grand. And again, 75% ball possession, gotta love that. 6 KOs, 3 injuries as well. So he's getting it done. Have you played the Nurgle yet?
No, I played the Nurgle in the penultimate game, and Ant-Man's right the woods. What's he, 3rd at the minute?
He's up there. He's chasing the top spot. So that could be a huge game.
He's actually second. But looking at the team with my orc eyes, we look at those and go, I haven't got much claw. There's no killer pestigore. But what he's got instead is those 2 agility pestigores. Damn shame that one of them suffered a move bust.
Yeah.
Because he had a move increase. but I think that those are the key guys, particularly looking at number 7, Tolar. Sure hands and block, 2 heads, movement and dodge. I mean, that guy is mobile.
And
So
it's
that's what
yeah,
I think he's his key guy.
yeah. And
From
it's
an
good.
orc perspective, only the one claw. I'm
Yeah,
rubbing my hands, thinking nullify the hell out of him, and we
yeah.
might be all right.
That's a smart to your game. Something might happen before then. But yeah, I mean, I like this team in a way that it's proving that you don't need to stack it as a kill team to do well with like a bash team like Chaos or Nagel. He's got his two really nice agility players there, and he's done really well. He's proven you don't really need to rely on Claw, and he got a lot of XP this week as well. He got crikey 17 XP compared to the 7 from the Undead. I like
Well,
the
he can score quickly. He's got that. He's got that in the locker. What is impressive is with only the one tackle, I've struggled against any of the teams with much in the way of dodge.
yeah.
And Ant-Man also only got the one tackle and yet's making it work. So perhaps I need to have a chat with him and say, "How are you pulling this off?" But yes, he's doing extremely well.
He
Doing
is.
extremely well.
It's
But
really
he's a
fun.
good coach, Ant-Man. Andy knows him from other divisions he's
Yeah,
played in. I want to say UKBBL, but it might be OCC. And he's a veteran coach, knows what
yeah, knows what he's doing. I mean, Hunter said a very similar thing. He was saying, "Yeah, I know this guy. He's very good," and he's obviously proving it. The next game was a sad one for me.
Oh, hang on. Do we need to mention a Windows record?
A Windows record.
A Windows Requiem, the opponent. We barely mentioned him.
Let's go back. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 33 blocks, 2 KOs, 1 injury. He did kill one. He was a rotter.
Have you seen the amount of dodge on this undead team?
I have. What we'll do is when we get to the team thing, we'll talk about the teams then.
Fair enough.
That's
Sorry, Bernie.
it's all right.
Pray continue.
That's how we usually talk about them when we get to that. But the Requins have got, as we'll see, they've got a really good team, and I think next season they're going to be a nightmare because they are building quite well and still keep killing stuff, what's always good. The next one's a bit sad for me. This result, Fairy Hair and versus the Big Cups. I was adamant. I was feeling so good that the Rats would win this one. I give them the triple B banker. I threw everything at them. I thought they would not lose. I don't know why, because I was playing Dwarfs, but I just had this really good feeling they'd win. And when I saw it, I was like, no, they lost. I was gutted. They did actually hire his glass smash rip, the one with the claw, but he died, so that really was a bit of a downer. And it's funny because we had Keith Carr, obviously the Fairhaven's coach, in our league last season, where he topped the division and everything went well for him. And this season, it just seems like nothing's going well for him, and it must be frustrating for him. But again, the Big Cups are in top form, and they've won the last 5 of the Big Cups, so they are absolutely on a roll. And again, 75% ball possession. They just dominated it.
Big Cups got off to a slow start, but like you say, they're a bit of a juggernaut at the second. The stat that jumps out for me on this game was the amount of KOs Big Cup scores, 6. And so this was a tale of oh no, we've run out of rats.
Yeah. I mean, 6 KOs, 4 injuries, and 1 death. That death was obviously the star players. That's not too bad. Fairy Harem, but nothing. I mean, it's funny how one season you can everything seems to be going your way, and the next season just totally opposite. And he's probably doing exactly the same things as in his last season.
Keith is a well-known coach from UKBBL.
Yeah.
And again, he's very good player. I played Furry Harem earlier in the season. Really knows what he's doing. But Skaven are one of those teams that it's high risk, high reward, that you've got to chance your arm. And if it goes right, your opponent is just left flat-footed. But AV7 playing against dwarves with all the tackle, it can go horribly wrong real quick. Yeah. And I think that's what happened.
And that's basically what happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if next season Fairhaven just are right up there near the top again. I just think it's one of those seasons where he's going to be like, you know what, nothing seemed to work very much. But his team's getting good, as we'll have a look. He's still got 15 XP, so that's not too bad. And 19 XP for the big cups. They're just amazing at the moment. They're just beating everybody. So good.
You know who my last game is, don't you?
Yeah, the big cups.
Exactly. Stop bigging up the big cups, damn it. Our confidence is starting to waver.
But it's all right. The Oaks, you just don't tell the Oaks to lost. They'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I mean they're doing really well. Maybe it's your Oaks will give him stop the momentum. Who knows? But yeah, they're doing really.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the death roller, which cheers me at no end.
Yes, that would have been a bit of a problem if you had one of those. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now there was a game between two teams that have been losing players a lot. Chackle Changelings versus Jungle Beats. Both teams have been losing players galore. And when we have a look at the teams, obviously I'll be sadly telling you about another loss on the Amazon team. Unfortunately, but a 2-2 draw seems all right. Seems pretty fair. The Beats had more of the possession, but the Chackle Changelings threw 53 blocks. That's a lot of blocks to be throwing.
The Amazons, when I played them, I played very early on in the season, and they were one of the fancied teams to do well.
Yes.
When they had Mass Blodge, they were a nightmare, and I couldn't do a thing to them. Diving tackle was firing blanks. It was just we just got picked on by bigger girls. It was all hockey sticks in the change room afterwards. And, the Orcs came out bloodied and battered.
Yeah.
But you're right. The both of them have suffered this season with player attrition. It's hurting them.
I mean, the Amazon. I mean, it's like horror show every week now. They seem to just lose a key player. What's a shame because, like I said, early season he was one of the guys who was leading in the leaderboard, but I think because of attrition and a few other things, they've gone down a bit. Obviously, the big cups ran him over as well. But and the changes in sales up there as well. But again, the attrition starting to thing on them as well. But
Well, don't forget, Wrecked for a long time was right there with the Dark Angel of Lilith, Donkey Dragon, Stroke Candidate, and Andy 90s team.
Yeah.
They were neck and neck, top of the table, and they just had a string of results where they've taken a pounding on the pitch and been overcome. When we get round to look through the teams, we'll have a look at the roster and see how they're standing at the sec. But yeah.
Absolutely. But sorry, Chocolate Changelings, they've still got a lot of XP out of that game. They got 19 XP and 16 XP for the Jungle Beat. So at least 2-2 draw. At least they both get a point. So hey ho. Prior to the World's End, 2-1 against Boondock Skinks. I tipped the Pirates and they won, so that's a good thing. The Boondock Skinks, I'm impressed the way he played. He gives his all. Unfortunately, he ran into a chuff team what just basically caused carnage. 3 KOs, 7 injuries, and 1 death in only 39 blocks. Again, 75% ball possession seems a thing this week. A lot of teams but one had 75% ball possession. To me, I don't know about you, but this just looks like a game where the chuff claw worked, and that's all she wrote.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
It's pretty one-sided.
Sarador and the Pirates have had to replace a bull recently, but his Chorf pack, especially the first 4, a strong group. Plenty of guard. He's got some claw mighty blow piling on one of the players there. A second one with strength, mighty blow claw. They're starting to get dangerous. So yes, it looked to me like they just beat the snot out of them.
And 25 XP as well. So, that's a lot of XP for a game.
Exactly. It's a perfect storm, isn't it? And again, I've played both of these coaches. They both gave me a bloody good game.
Yeah.
Moon Dingo certainly knows what he's doing. So nice for Sarador to get a win and a mountain of South Sudanese pounds as a windfall.
That's a dream game, is it? 25 XP, win the game as well. happy days. And the Bulldogs Skinks, they're up and down, but what I've noticed by the coach, he gives his all, and he's pulled off some good wins, and he's been unlucky on a few of his games as well. And this one just seems like, well, it don't matter who was in charge of the Bulldogs Skinks, they weren't going to win because the attrition was just too far. And then the game of the week was the Dark Angel Lilith versus My Brothers in Band. I love both these coaches, but obviously on my preview, I tipped, although people thought I was crazy, I tipped My Brothers in Band to win the league, and it started off slowly for them. By Jove, they are now starting to come good, and this was a huge win against the top of the, I think it was top of the table, Dark Angel Lilith in a 2-1 win. I just think this Kerry team's scary with all the with them two Blitzeras, and obviously the 4 Chum Guardians who still seem to live. They don't seem to die, so that's always helpful.
Yeah, I noticed that when I played the buggers.
Yeah, they are a nightmare team, aren't they? And they've only got stronger since you played them, because you played them week 1, if I remember, and you both got a draw.
I was about to say that. These were my opening game, and they have improved in terms of their raster quite significantly. So I'm glad I played them in week 1 rather than right now.
Yeah. 81% ball possession. The Dark Angels are saying 0 ball possession, so I don't know what happened there, maybe a blitz or something. But the Dark Angels never had the ball.
Well, talking to Donkey Dragon stroke Andy 90, that game was just a disaster start to finish. It was one of those days where the elves were just not on it. The ball was coated in butter. The pitch had been heavily watered. Nothing was working for them. And I think the 2 blitzers just went to town on them, and the elves didn't get looking.
Yeah, it seems like the way this Kerry team does success, obviously the 4 big lads, the strength 5 guys, they control the pitch, and the 2 blitzers go around beating the crap out of everything. They just seem at the moment to just whatever they hit, they hit. And yeah, it was a huge win for My Brothers Betting Band, and they got a decent. I mean, the Walk of Life, we'll have a look in a minute. He got level up. He's the backup thrower, so that's good for him there. And 15 points. Or is it Skate Away? One of them got backup. Got the level up, and obviously only 8 points for Dark Angels of Love, so not good at all. So what does that do with the leaderboard? Now I must stress the Dark Angels of Lilith have played an extra game, unfortunately. For the Orcs, they got beat by the Dark Angels of Lilith this week. But apart from
didn't.
No, we didn't. If any Orcs are listening,
never lose. Invincible.
That's it. But the rest of the teams haven't played this week so far. So the Flowerlord Sevens and the Big Cups, who are our game of the week, what we'll talk about in a moment, they are against each other this week. So that is going to be an immense game. But let's go to the teams then.
Let's go to the teams.
Look quickly for them. We start with Flylord Sevens, who was obviously in absolute amazing form. They had a dead rotter this week and no level ups. But just looking at the team, like we previously said, that Tolar is an amazing player, number 7, the Pestigo. And then obviously having Pytagles as a backup is amazing as well. And just the 1 claw piece, not much tackle as you've already said, but by Jove, it's getting it done, isn't it? This team's pretty good.
I think this is a testament to Ant-Man's talent as a coach, because the team on paper aren't that special in terms of traditional Nurgle talent. That they're not particularly dangerous as Nurgle go.
Yeah.
I should be careful what I'm saying here because I've yet to play them, and so I don't want it to be a bluff. But just the 1 claw, no killer Pestigore, and yet the mobility of the 2 agilities, Pestigors, Tolar and Pytagors, players 7 and 8, are doing the business for them. And they're really light on guard, they're really light on tackle, they've not got very much claw, and yet he's doing it week in, week out. So well done, Ant-Man. Yeah. Romping at the table there.
He is. It's just ripping everyone apart. Like I said, and for what he's got, he's carrying 60k blood because obviously got 210 in the bank. But it's high TV for what he's got. But like you said, and like Hunter said, he's a very, very good coach. And I think, like you say, he's proven it here. To a newer coach, I'm almost certain they won't be doing as well with his team. But like you say, sometimes a good coach can do it with anything. And if he's doing really well with his team now, you can imagine how great this team's going to be when they're more developed, and maybe when they've got a bit more guard and a bit more claw. This could be a team to watch in the seasons to come. What could end up in Division One.
Why do you guess that they've got a 210 in the bank? What do you think the thinking is there?
Well, it's either he's coming to near the end of the season, he's trying to build up for a transfer, or he's saving a bit more money because he's confident in his abilities, thinking, well, I'm already giving loads of TV away, I might as well keep it. And in just case he loses a player, it can use it. Or maybe he's just saving it so he can use it for other things. Well, I can't think about it at the moment. But usually you hover around the 150, don't you? I mean, I think.
Well, my working theory is he's just won last week, and has got the winnings there. That he hasn't decided whether to buy a 14th player or whether to just trim that TV by hiring and firing cheerleaders to bring it back down to 150. It could be that as well.
Yeah,
but it's.
You usually look who you're playing, don't you? I mean, he's like I said, he's against the big cups this week, so it's going to be a huge game. I mean, like I say, might think, I'll get another player, get a bit of fouling going on. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen it quite often where a lot of people have carried blow, especially later on in the season, especially looking for a transfer. I mean, next team, Told Wolves, no AV, they didn't play, but just a quick look at their team. I think you said it perfectly. He keeps losing his Yeti. That Ulthwen needs development. He's still got two good berserkers. He lost a very good runner as well this season. But be interesting to see if he keeps his team or re-rolls.
Well, of course, one of Nurgle's great strengths are their resilience. So this does bode well for Ant-Man. That I think that the Warriors and Pestigos, the positionals, have got every chance of surviving, and this team will just become a bit of a nightmare in a season or two's time.
What do you think of the Norse? As we move on to the Norse, Todd Dwarfs with no AV. Obviously, they didn't play this week because obviously he's got PC issues.
Well, as we touched on earlier, there were a lot more of a handful when I played them. So they've lost a lot of players. They've lost at least 2 Blodge guys. Yeah. I quite like the sidestep diving tackle. He needs tackle to really make it work. Yeah. As I proved today. I'm not sure about plus AV on the dirty player. That's unusual, but I suppose if you keep losing players, then the prospect of take some armor is maybe like a psychological nudge there. I think frustration really for Deadman that the Ulfwers, you really want to see those guys with mighty blow and tackle and guard, but he's struggling to get them to live long enough to develop. The 2 berserkers, terrific, but the rest of the team's not really keeping up with them due to the casualties they've taken. So I think he'd be looking to regroup and rebuild stage.
I mean, they are the key, aren't they? They're the cornerstone of the 2 berserkers and the runner.
Yes,
sure. Right, let's move along to Crusaders of Kalador, the High Elves. No injuries or no level ups, so it's the same as there was the week before. I like number 7. He's pretty dandy. Movement 9. Agility 5 leaper. He's always good. You obviously played him last week and you got the victory there against them, but he looks a decent team. Paper.
The real nightmare player for me was number 1, the Frenzy Blitzer.
Frenzy Blitzer, yeah.
And here's the thing, that with when you've got a mighty blow elf blitzer who's a little bit dangerous like that, when he's supported by the agility 5 lads, whatever I did, he could find 2-die blocks, 2-die blitzers with the blitzer. And also worth pointing out, I think he may have lost one actually, but he's still got 2 guard linemen, so both of whom are awfully mobile.
Yeah.
So what Anubis did was very much hit and run guerrilla tactic snipe action, which you'd expect, and this team is great for that. Very tricky to play against. for me, what made the difference is diving tackle was working for me, and so that's basically how we came out on top with this one.
Yeah, yeah. Damn tackle, I love diving tackle, but I mean, like I said, this team's a bit lower than in the division, but you know, he's shown enough to be competitive. And like I said, as long as you can keep him a bit healthy, like you said, you're pointing a few pieces like number ones were an amazing piece. Then you know next season these could do a lot better. And I think it's just a case of trying to look after him now and build for next season. He's got 160k in the bank as well, so everything good in there. But yeah, I agree. Number one, I love Frenzy. It just gives you something different. Hopefully he will do well with them. The next team's the Better Space Bounders. They got an admin win, so again, not much to say about them. They look a standard team really. They got Mighty Blow Blitzer and Agility. I mean, Faye Valentine's the key piece I think in this team. Obviously Agility 4 and Show Hands. He's the ball carrier. What do you think about this team?
They've lost one or two players since I played them recently,
Yeah,
and they were a right headache when I played them. They had a bunch of lodge, and we just couldn't put them down.
Yeah,
just couldn't do it. And I think we got beaten up. I think we lost the punch up, but Papillon is AKA Simar, and very good coach, played very well. And it was right hard work, this lot. Even as they stand now with the casualties, the fact that we've got the mighty blow blitzer, he does all the sniping. But you're right, key player Faye Valentine. How annoying is agility 4 with dodge, with sidestep, and also the ball carrier?
Yeah. I mean, every time I watched him play, his position is top notch. He very rarely is out of position. This guy.
Yes.
Really good. So, like I say, it looks good to him. Like I say, unfortunately, lost the leader, Blitzer. So he's only got 2 rerolls at the moment. But apart from that, this team looking good. And like I say, his other 3 blitzers are all very good. And yeah, he's in good form as well. So you never know. In the last few weeks, he might be one of those in there as well, fighting for the playoffs. Sure.
I tell you what, when you play against Timar with that team, you really start to appreciate just how annoying Fend is.
Well. Oh yes.
Just saying.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Right, we come to the Orcs. You lost a wrestle piece. Yizik, he's dead. And obviously Weewar leveled up and he's got Mighty Blow. And as you've already said, next one will be Palinol, so it was good. When we've discussed this team before, I love the diving tackle. I like it. And obviously now they've got tackle, so it makes them a lot better. You've got a nice smart and a Mighty Blow. Your blitzers are looking nasty. Weewar, to me, I think he's going to have a big future in the game. And obviously you've got your Blackhawks just need a bit more development, especially number 7. You've got your data player as well. You've got your troll. You've got your crazy goblin who's got movement, which is always nice. You've got your ball handling throw with kick off return. So to me, when I look at this, it's the sort of team I think, yeah, I wouldn't mind playing this team. You know, I want it.
Well, you say Physic died, but it turned out he was fine. He's there, number 14. He forgot how to wrestle. It was a blow to the head. He's fine.
Right. He's fine. He just forgot wrestle. There you go.
Some have said he looks slightly different to old Physic, but that
lies.
It's fine. Nobody died. Everything was fine.
We don't lose. Nobody does. I like these.
They need more teeth. The Orcs. I'm not scoring much in the way of casualties, and to beat agility teams, you tend to do it by numerical superiority, and it's not quite been flowing, but it's getting there. We're getting better.
Yeah, and now we've got 2 Mighty Blow tackle pieces. That's huge. That'll obviously make it a lot better to beat some of them pesky rats and elves up for sure. But I like this team. I think it's a really good balance.
Honestly, Bernie, if I could have swapped the skills round, if they'd have got tackle first, and then I could be sure they'd get a double, the team would have been more effective to date had they not taken diving tackle, because it was a future investment.
And that's it, isn't it?
Now that they have tackle, they're significantly better. I say that I've just lost this week.
But yeah, I mean, what can you say? A lot of people lost to the Dark Angel Lilith, so you know it was always going to be a tough game. But like you say, long-term development is the goal here. So again, that down tackle to me is very important. But
They're
yeah,
getting there.
I'm keeping an eye on Weewar. I think he's the one to he could be a potential superstar.
He's going to be badass.
He's going to be amazing. Right, but when does Requiem? No injuries, no level ups. But this is a really nice team. He's built them well. He's got that Kinky Mighty Blow goal, who apparently has been doing well for him. He's still alive. He's got a lot of blodgers, I think you said earlier in the show, and obviously he's got his Stanfam, his mummies, Stanfam blodgers. Oh my god, they're nightmares.
Well, you add into the mix 2 guard zombies as well.
Yeah.
And what also elevates them, both the mummies are not just blodge.
Yeah.
2 blodge mummies, fully
Stanfam.
developed, both with guard, both with stand firm. One of them has even got Juggernaut. When I played a Windor, he is not afraid to make go for it to blitz with the mummies, to put them in really annoying positions. There's nothing weak about this team. They're really hard to play against, and I think he's going to do great in the future.
I do. I just look at this team and think, wow, this is a very, very good team.
Oh, they're a nightmare, mate.
Yeah,
play them.
I will want to play them. I really would want to play them.
No, I didn't, but you know, what can you do?
But yeah, he's a good lad as well, and oh yeah, that is a tough team. Right, the big cups. What a roll! They've won their last 5. I mean, obviously that Troll Slayer. I remember watching that Troll Slayer get beaten on the floor for about 3 times by the High Elves in one game, and they just couldn't get rid of him. Number 2. But I mean, it's a decent team. It's a solid team, and it's not the most scariest team, but it's built the dwarf way, isn't it? You know, guards, stand there, some light blow in there.
Well, on top of that, apart from being dwarves being dwarves, we've got 4 stand firm already, which is a thing. But he's also got blodge. Do you notice number 6? Now he doesn't jump out as you think, oh my god, what a player, 34 points. But blodge, stand firm, tackle by, because they come with it, and diving tackle. Yeah. He's a nightmare for the agility guys. Plus, when I played against him, one of his strongest players is the runner, number 3. That to have a blodge sidestep on a dwarf just adds another tier of these are a right old headache, apart from them being just, you know, dwarfs. Yeah. And number 2, a fully operational Troll Slayer. Nasty.
He's nasty, and he's got the extra AV as well. I mean, the only concern I had with this team is if number 3 went down the ball handler, they're in a bit of bother, because the other one's just a brand new. I think he's a late pickup as well. I think he's been running with one runner for a while.
He's played just 1 game.
Yeah.
So yes, you are correct. I think he did run with only 12 on the roster.
So the thing is, if the runner goes down number 3, I think that could put a spanner in his works. But as it is, like I said, he started off slowly, and he's just now. It seems like nobody can beat him. Maybe the Orcs can stop him later in the season, but it's a good team.
Well, I've yet to play him. What makes me think there is hope is we've got slightly more guard than they do, which is unusual with dwarves, because they tend to have everybody's got guard is what will often happen. With similar TV, anything could happen. Depends who wins the punch-up. We've got the strength. He's got a bit more mighty blow, though not much. Wouldn't like to call that 50-50.
Yeah. Just looking at what happened. Number 9 got level up. So that was Man. So he got stand firm. And they had a blitzer called Correa. And he got -1 AV. And he was obviously sacked him. He was an old blitzer, so they've lost that. So that's a bit unfortunate.
Well, the two blitzers are quite underdeveloped here for dwarves. That often you see blitzers become key players, but I think Yuvasak is also very mindful that he's got a baby Troll Slayer there to grow as well.
Yeah.
But even with baby blitzer, baby Troll Slayer, he's got a lot of core strength in the Longbeard lineup, and the runner and Grong Doc Troll Slayer are so good this team's a handful.
Right, let's move on to a team what's been in the wars, the Jungler Beat. They lost their killer Pocahontas not far back, and now they've lost another one of their best players, Cinderella, who was killed. That was a Blitzer, Blodge Guard, Mighty Blow, Stand Them, Tackle Piece. That is dead. And Snow White, the other good one, is missing next game. So this team is absolutely in the wars. No level ups, just carnage, and it's a shame. But this is what can happen with AV7. His blitzers are starting to take the brunt, and he's losing them. It's I don't know where he goes from here, but at least he's still got Tinkerbell and Sleeping Beauty, the two agility pieces. They're still there, but this team is starting to creak a bit, I think.
At the moment, they look like a hen night at 3 a.m. That half of them are sat on the gutter being sick in their own handbags, don't they?
Yeah.
They've lost a lot of players recently. When I played them, pretty strong team, but I think they had a couple of mighty blows. They're down to just the one, and the blitzers for the Amazons are amongst the key players that with strength access and quickly getting to blodge, they can become a real headache. But they've still the bright points. They still have Tinkerbell and Sleeping Beauty with agility.
Yeah.
So once Tinkerbell gets rocking and rolling, they can still do stuff, but they've taken a few knocks, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely have. But he's a good coach. But yeah, his blitzers have taken a beating. I mean, I can't remember who's playing this week, but it's going to be tough with a blitzer out and obviously two new blitzers to bed in as well, unfortunately. But good luck to him. Anyway, now another team got a bit of a beating this week, the Boondock Skinks. They obviously ran into them nasty Chorfs. They've got three missing. Connor the second, he's missing next game. Duffy the second, he's also missing next game. Murphy won. Murphy actually got -1 agility, but they're agility won anyway, so it doesn't matter. Duffy did get a level up and he took guard, so that's not too bad. I think I might have took brave tackle myself with him having mighty blow and tackle, just so he can go hunting these gut runners and stuff like that. But guard's never a bad choice. Icky Thump got killed, he was a skink. And then It's a Shix, the star movement 10 skink, is missing next game, so bit of carnage, but at the end of the day, only lost a skink. Could have been a lot worse against them Chorfs, but what do you think of this team?
They're in the stage that they haven't quite reached fully operational. That they're really actually a bit better now than when I played them. They were really light on guard, and don't have a lot of break tackle. But they had It's Chicks, who's a natural one turner. So they've got potential, but the roster as it stands tells the tale of how did it go this week. All missed next games. They just got beaten. And for a long time, Il Duce, Noah, the Cruxigor, number 7, has been nursing that armor bust, but he has block. And so Moondingo's sticking with him. They can recover from this. They will be fine if they keep Ishsticks healthy, keep the Sauruses developing. I'm sure they'll be fine. And Moondingo is another good coach.
I like him. And like I say, a lot of times when he loses, it's just unfortunate. He gives his all, and like I say, he's got a nice basis in this team. And like I say, as long as they can keep that superstar skink alive, they're always going to have a chance. Good luck to him. Now we come to the scary team, or the team I'm praying will do me proud. My brothers in Barn, the Khemri.
Well, you tipped these to be winners in pre-season.
Did. I still stand by it.
Well, it turns out I think that your assertion is looking even more accurate. That indeed your wisdom is exceeded only by your great beauty. That he had the two Blitzras at the start of the season were already looking pretty good.
Yeah.
But what he's added to that, we've now got Skate Away the Throw-Ra, whose first level up is Dodge. Cracking.
That's nice.
And his Tomb Guardians have all survived, and they're starting to add skills. Two of them now with block, 3 of them with guard, 3 of them with stand firm. Bit of a nightmare.
2 dead players as well. Like I say, Skateaway was the only level this week, and look how nicely he gets Dodge. So that is massive. But this, I mean, the thing is, with Kemri, his Blitzers are really good. They've been just ripping into everything. But his 4 Tomb Guardians have been healthy all season. You know, even with Decay, they've got through it. And your only concern is if he lost 1 or 2 of them, he had a bad game, and he lost a couple. But as it stands at the moment, this team is just very, very scary. They've got the power, they've got the strength, they've got the dead players, they've got a ball handler. Another one's on his way to being a decent ball handler as well with Dodge. I just think, it was a huge win last week against the Dark Angels of Lilith. And if they can keep it going, you just never know where they're going to end up. But I think these will make the playoffs. I really do. I just don't think there's much out there what can stop him, long as he keeps going as he is. The only worry I've got, Zunk, is if he gets up into another division, he comes up against a lot of claw heavy bash teams. Where
nobody wants to face claw heavy bash teams, do they?
But when you've got Decay, it's even worse, isn't it? If his regen doesn't work. But in this division, I just think that he got a slow start, but he again, another one was to fly near the end of the season. Has he left it too late? Well, we'll have to see. But I think he'll make the playoffs. I really do.
Well, you say has he left it too late, Bernie? Don't forget that he's now 4th, but he's only 1 point behind second.
It's all back. Yeah, it's all close now.
So will he make the playoffs? Every chance. Every chance.
Very good chance. And then obviously I hope he'll do well. Dark Angels Lilith, obviously they've just played against yourself. But the week before, it was a bit of a car crash. Because Darth Jar Jar Binks, he was a Lano, he was dead. Darth Hassandrian, that was a witch elf, she died. Darth Dog, MNG, and he got no level ups. So it was a bit of a car crash against the Dark Angels of Lilith. Obviously, we've seen him play against your Orcs, who he never beat. It just says they did, but never won. And obviously he's got a level up, what we'll see next week. But he has so many agility 5 pieces now, it's ridiculous. I mean, he's got 4 of them. So that's always going to help, isn't it? Having 4 agility 5 pieces in your team.
It's phenomenally annoying that whatever you do, they can go where they want.
Yeah.
And that's combined with Donkey Dragon, a regular viewer of the show, by the way, so I do know Donkey Dragon.
Yeah.
He played well today, and it was he did lean on diving away from diving tackle, no problem, and 1-die blocks were a very recurring theme.
Right.
But it worked. He did some lovely screening work. It was exactly what you'd think, looking at a team that's got lots of pace and stupendous mobility with all that agility. That's exactly how it panned out.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, he's been playing extremely well, and that's why he's top. So good luck to him.
Absolutely. Well, nice to see he got back to winning ways.
Yes, even though it was against the Orcs.
Sure.
Right, okay, the next team we'll have a look at, because we don't obviously look at the price so well then, we have to go to Chocolate Changelings. They got a 2-2 draw. They got a -1 agility boost on, I can't pronounce his name, Bagdemagus Volume 2, and he sacked him. What's a shame, because he got a level up, so he got -1 agility, then got a level up. The Changelings have just been through the ringer as well. They started the season with loads of stats, and obviously, ironically, they were the 2 Dark Elf teams. They were the ones with all the stats, and now we sort of roll reverse. They've still got 2 strength ups and 2 agilities, but again, another team was gone through the ringer. But they're still looking alright shape, do you think?
These are hard work to play against, because the 2 strength 4 Blodge, well, one of them's Rodge, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
they're quite difficult to get past. So you can just see in your mind's eye now that they're part of a screen. The ball's behind it. You can't get at the ball. You need 3 players to 2-dive one of them if you're hitting them with a blitzer. Blah blah blah. And they've got a couple of agility 5s, a couple of agility 4s. They're not as strong as they were, but they're still a right handful. And don't forget, Wrecked was right up there at the start of the season, along with and Mighty Stoke Donkey Dragon. They were neck and neck wrestling for first and second, and they've just had a few bad games.
And the other thing as well to mention is this team beat my brothers in Barm 3-0. So wow. that just shows you this guy and his team have got potential. The only team to really give the brothers a right beating on the scoreboard. But yeah.
No, there's still operational Dark Elves. Bloodied nose, perhaps, but I think
still dangerous, aren't they? They're still very dangerous. Can get the job done. Right, final team to have a look at then is Fairy Harem. Keith Carr's team. What have we got here? Naomi's missing next game. That's a shame. That's a strength for Stone Vermin. There's one called Ricketts. He's the kicker. He got -1 AV. Glart, as I said earlier, the star player, he got killed, but no level ups. I don't know. It's just been a season where nothing seemed to pan out for him. But he's got some nice pieces. Number 6 is very good. Number 2 is very good. He's still got his claw. Rat Ogre, who's back. What do you think, Zunk?
I used to be in the same league as Keith, so I've seen him around. Keith knows what he's doing. I've played this lot. He's got a natural one-turner, so I mean, automatically that's a problem.
Yeah.
Plus the agility 5 on his ball hawk, Debs the gutter runner with strip ball, wrestle, agility 5, nightmare.
Yeah.
Carly the guard gutter runner synergizes very well with Sally the killer storm vermin. They're both super mobile. You've got guard, mighty blow, claw combo between 2 players. They snipe you. Another bright point, Natalie the guard line rat needs block. But no, this is a pretty effective Skaven team. I think he'd like to develop the remaining gutter runner, young Belen there, number 5.
Yeah.
But no, they play exactly like you imagine Skaven do. They're really irritating.
Yeah. And Rhea the second is only 2 points off another level up, so he may get something. If he rolls a double, he could get 2 heads. He could even get Jilly if he's lucky. So could become even more of a nightmare, couldn't he? But a very, very good team indeed.
What would you take on that gutter runner? 2 heads or leap? Probably 2 heads.
Yeah, because it makes him a Jilly 5, doesn't it? So it makes him a lot better. Compared to Leap, and he's got the dodge as well, so long as he's not going to tackle, it's very, very good. So that is that. So the only thing we've got left on the show is the tipping. See if you're a lot better than my cases. The first one I want to have a look at is the Pirates of the World's End versus My Brothers in Band. How do you think that's going to pan out? Who do you think wins that one?
As we've already talked about Ravers, My Brother Embalmed, with great admiration. It's a big ask for Pirates of the World End based on form. However, the other thing that we said whilst discussing the Khemri were if they face a claw team.
Yep.
So will Sarador's Chorps, and one of whom, by the way, is Strength 4 Mighty Blow Claw. Will they start chinning Tomb Guardians? Could this be the end of a glorious run? Honestly, I'd put this as 50-50 for me. Anything could happen. Could go either way. And it hinges on how good is Sarador's Claw. And that is a huge slice of just what Nuffle decides.
So are you going for a draw, or are you going to go on one of them?
I don't think it'll be a draw. What I think will happen is if the Claw Chorfs manage to cave the faces in of the Khemri early enough, I think the Chorfs will win. If the Khemri resist that, if they can nullify it by positioning that the the Chorfs don't have lots of 2-die blocks and kill all the Tomb Guardians, then I think the Khemri will win. So no, I don't think it'll be a draw, but it could go either way.
Fair enough. I can't go against the brothers in Band. They're in such good form. I agree with you with the Claw. If the Claw kicks in, they're doing trouble. But he's got the momentum. He knows what he's doing. I think I saw the game where the Pirates played you and you bullied them with Blackhawks and their strength 4. I think the Khemri will bully the Chorfs and because they're strength 5. They've got the ball carrier. They've got the 2 killers. They've got the data players. You knock one or 2 of these Chorfs off, and all of a sudden gaps will appear. They'll go hunting for the bulls. And if the hobgoblin's about, I'm sure one of the piling on Blitzeras will knock that down as well. I can see if the brothers play this smart, I think they can whittle down the Chorfs. Gaps will appear, and I've got this down as a 2-0 win for the brothers in Band. Although yes, like you said, I'd be a bit worried about the Claw for sure.
Sarador is due a bit of luck, and that's all you need. If he wins the kickoff result and chins a couple of players early on, so he's then got the numbers, then the strength starts to dissipate as you've got more personnel. It could go either way. Could go.
It could. Chocolate Changelings versus the Boondock Skinks. This is an interesting one. So the Dark Elves versus the Skinks. Both teams a bit worse for wear. How do you see this one going?
I think the Dark Elves. Now, why I say that? I don't think the Lizards have got enough to stop the Dark Elves being Dark Elves. We've got one Tacklesaurus who doesn't have Mighty Blow, as Duffy is missing. Also, the Lizards are missing the one Turner Skink. So you're going to have a lot of loner skinks on show.
Yeah,
I can't see Moondingo being able to overcome that disadvantage. What he does have in the bank, however, is he will get a fair chunk of inducement.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think Chocolate Changelings will win this. It could be another 2-1, 3-1, 3-0. So I don't think the Changelings are too powerful. And like you say,
I think the Dark Elves are just going to elf them, and they're catching the Lizards on a week where they've got 4 missed next game.
Yeah, it's
on all contributing players. It's going to be hard work.
Yeah, I think Moondingo can get anything out of this. Even a draw would be an amazing result for him. It is Blood Bowl, it is dice based, so you can never say never. But I think looking at the team, I think Chocolate Changelings, this looks a golden opportunity for him to get himself back on with a big win here. I think personally.
Yeah, on paper it's Dark Elves.
Yeah.
75-25.
Yeah. I agree. Right, the poor old Rats, who nothing seems to go right. They come up against a beaten up Jungle Beats, who's having just as bad of the season on nutrition. How do you see this one going? I really struggle on this one. I wasn't sure.
Well, the Amazons do have 2 tackle players, and they are the 2 agility line women.
Yeah.
But neither of them have got Mighty Blow, so it's entirely possible that they can hit a bunch of Rats, but without piling on Mighty Blow. There's no dirty girl. The Rats could survive, and so the greater speed, mobility of the Rats. I think the Rats will edge it, but it's not a done deal. 55% in favour of the Rats winning.
Yeah, I just had to go with the Rats because just the speed, just everything, and the strength, and I think the Jungle Beats they keep losing players. They've got one of the best players out as well. They're trying to bring in these new blitzers as well. I just think as good as the Jungle Beats coach is, I think best he could expect is maybe draw this week. So I'm going to go with Fairy Heron, but they've just had a frustrating season, so it wouldn't surprise me if they don't win. But I think looking at the teams, the percentage call is just to the Rats. So I'm going to go with the Rats. Maybe 1-0 or something.
What I'm liking about the Rats here is they've got a wrestle, strip ball, agility 5, got a runner, dangerous. They've got a Mighty Blow, tackle, claw, doesn't matter, agility, storm vermin. That's going to scare the living daylights out of any of those girls. And of course, they've got Rhea, the natural one, to get the runner. I don't think the Zons have got enough in the locker to stop that. rats being rats.
Yeah. Right, now we come to the game of the week. Flylord Servants versus the Big Cups. As we can see, I mean, the Flylord Servants have got a lost win in the last 5 games, and the Big Cups win. There's going to be inducements-wise, obviously the Big Cups will get some inducements. That's the good news for them. It will be 120 inducements, so an extra 30 they could get themselves a wizard. I've got keys of the game for this one. Power and strength. The Nurgles use the strength to overpower obviously the dwarfs. The agility players, obviously the Pescos, they obviously got a big role this week. And obviously the Mighty Blow Claw piece, can he use him to his best ability to get some attrition? And for the Big Cups, positioning is key. Use the guard the best they can, and their Troll Slayer. If he can get on a roll and take a few of these out, I think they may have a chance. But what do you think? How do you see this game going? Both desperate for the win.
The big cups have only got 4 guard, which is light for a dwarf team. However, Drong the Troll Slayer, he's quite tasty. There's not lots and lots of tackle on show from the Nurgle, so the Blodge players could have quite a nice time, particularly the runner.
Yeah.
If Ant-Man had lots more claw, I'd be feeling that the Nurgle might be in time. But they don't. If the dwarves can keep the claw Chaos Warrior quiet, I think the dwarves could edge this. So I'm going 55% in favour of the dwarves, just on the basis of that. Both in banging form, but I think that the dwarves can possibly shut down the Nurgles and outlast them.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I mean, I think position is going to be huge in this. But the way I look at it is, I think the dwarfs have a less error count. In like they've got to make sure everything's right. The position's got to be right. The guard's got to be in the right place, and the Troll Slayer's got to have to be good. They do have the inducements, what's a big plus. I mean, they could even get a wizard if they want one. And I don't like going against a team what's won 5 on the bounce, but I'm gonna go for the Flylord Servants. I think the strength, it's only 1 claw piece, but if he works, then obviously you only blitz once a turn, so if he's blitzing most of the time and he can take a few of these dwarfs off, there's going to be gaps, and he's got the ball players to be able to to obviously punish the dwarfs for that. I think this is a really close game. You probably end up in some like a board draw 0-0 or something like that, but I'm going to tip the Flylord Servants. I think the strength will get them through. I think they'll dominate the middle against the dwarves. The dwarves only got 4 guard, as you've said, and I just think the Nurgle will pick this one up. But I think if that claw piece can work, that will obviously help them a lot. So I will go with the Nurgle. You go with the dwarf, so we know what will happen. It'll be a draw after all that. Usually that's what happens. The next one's a bit of a funny one, because we're hoping that obviously the Dead Man's PC is working, but let's say it does. Does the Norse beat that scary undead team?
No.
No. No. Yeah, that undead team's scary, isn't it? And all that power against AV7. And even the Ghoul's got Mighty Blow, so even he can come in and chin one.
They shouldn't. Could they? Yes.
Yeah.
Will they? I'd say probably not. What I would expect the undead to do is just face to face shut down the Norse with the strength, the massive amount of guard that they have. The Norse are going to have to be doing, I think, some dodges to then snipe. It's just fraught with danger. I think the undead are in brilliant shape, and the Norse are in development mode. Again, having lost some players, so no, it's the undead for me.
Yeah. Well, this is my Triple B banker tip of the week. The undead, I expect them to just break what's left of the the Norse. I'm really concerned for the Norse this week because if you just play the game and things go pretty bad, this could be the end of the Total Dwarfs and OV because so much money blown. There'll be fouling. There'll be I fear.
You know what else jumps out is that the Tour Doors with no AV have got 2 players that the undead will be bothered about, the 2 berserkers.
Yeah.
And so you can guarantee the undead will be knocking themselves out to mark shutdown. They will be forever their blitz targets if they can get near them.
Yeah.
There'll be no piling on because that'll get trodden on straight away.
Yeah.
And it's just too much, I think, for the Norse. And I think you're right. I fear that Deadman, if he goes for it, if he tries to really engage, he'll just get murdered.
Yeah. Maybe don't get the PC fix this week. Maybe wait a week. But yeah,
Oh, it's broken. Look.
Oh shit. His team's gonna be broken if he plays this game. I think that's a concern. Final game of the week: Crusaders of Calidor, the High Elves versus Space Bounty Hunters, the good old Bretonnians. How do you see this one going?
Tough one to call. Simar really knows what he's doing. Hang on, is he the Burt Space Bounty? Yes, he is. Yeah, that's Papillon stroke Simar.
Yeah.
They're a very strong contender, though he has lost some players. Having said that, the High Elves do still have a couple of star players on hand, particularly the agility guys. I think the High Elves have got enough that they can out-elf the Birds.
Right.
So I'm going to go out on a limb, and Simar, I love you like a brother, and you gave me a proper hard time, but I think the High Elves have got enough that they can do this. So I'm going to go 2-1 for the High Elves.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to go the opposite. I think Space Bounty Hunter, they will get this done. This was almost my triple B banker.
Right.
Because I can't see them losing. So that's really worrying for Simon. I'll be like, no, Bernie, please tip the Isles. Because I curse everybody, but I just can't see the Brits losing this.
Let me have another look at the High Elves. Where are they?
No, you're right. You're right with what you say. I'm just a big fan of Simar, if I'm being brutally honest. And the way he plays.
Simar is a regular viewer on the show, and he having played him, he knows what he's doing. But I mean, look at these High Elves.
They are good, aren't they?
Two plus move plus agility players. Really hard work. They've got a couple of the guard line elves still got the killer there. Even the thrower is, it'll be the balls deep with the thrower, daring the Burts to come after him, and then you throw to a catcher, bang, you're 1-0 down. All that. No, I'm sticking with it. I think Anubis, he's got enough in the tank here. Simar is a mighty coach, but on paper, I like the High Elves.
Yeah, you make a very good point. They have a very good team.
You.
You know what the High Elves don't have? They don't have Fair Valentine. Fair Valentine is gonna bring the big W to the Bounty Hunters. That's just the way it's gonna go down. Hopefully, if the Brets lose or something bad happens to Fair Valentine, I'm gonna be in so much trouble with Simon now. But I like your Weewar. I love Weewar on the Orcs. I love Fair Valentine on the Brets. He's just that quality piece they have, and I can see Fair Valentine getting the win for the Bounty Hunters. It may not be an easy win. It may be close, like a 2-1 or something like that. But I expect Simon not to let me down and get the win, and he needs it because it's very close up top. The Dark Angel Elves obviously win this week, so they're now on 22 points. But like I said, the Flyload Servants, if they win against the big cups, they go joint top again. So and the Bretts and the Khemri are both not far behind. They're on 17 points. It's really, really close. And
do you know what's a bit of a shame just for the neutrals out there and me is that I didn't beat Dark Angels Lilith this morning, because if I had, cat amongst the pigeon, But
Even a
yeah,
draw.
sorry everyone.
Even a draw would have made it good, wouldn't it? But yeah, that's why the Flylord Servants versus Big Cups is huge this week.
Yes, it is.
Flylords win, they go joint top. If the Big Cups win, they're a point behind the Dark Angels of the Lilith. Oh man, it's going to be amazing. Then you've got the Kemri and the Bretts both desperate for a win. And if they can keep their winning streak going, then they're still just about there as well. And like I say, the top team goes to the big boys playoffs, and then the second and third go to the playoffs. What I think looks really good. I'm quite excited for the Challengers Cup as well. That's really good.
It's all happening, isn't it?
It's
all happening.
It's
Don't
all
go anywhere,
happening.
Blood Bowl fans.
Yes, it's all happening, and we know for a fact your team could end up costing one of these big teams, shall we say, a place in the playoffs, because you've got to play a lot of these. You've got to play the Flylords, you've got to play the big cups as well. So
mathematically, can I still sneak in there? How many am I on? 9.
Let's have a look. Where are
13.
you? You're 8th. It would need a miracle, if I'm being honest. Would you say now 13 points?
Yeah, it's unlikely.
If you win out, you never know. It's Blood Bowl.
I'll need 3 straight wins, and even then, yeah, all right. Let's not bank
it's possible.
on that.
It's possible, but hey, be the party spoiler. Why not? But yeah, this week's gonna be exciting. I just can't wait to see. But there you go. Anyway, that is us done. Really, thank you for coming on the show. I know a lot of people wanted you on to give us your wisdom, and hopefully your tip will be a lot better than mine. But good luck for the rest of the season. Hope you do really well. And we'll be watching because obviously, apart from obviously I'm a big WeWire fan, I'm biased towards Orcs, and you have got some big games coming up against some of the big guns. And maybe
We're gonna win.
Maybe.
We're gonna win.
Yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna cost someone the playoffs. But thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Good luck with you and Andy on your Twitch as always. And good luck for the rest of the season. You never know, we may clash swords following season.
Bernie, thanks ever so much for inviting me. I've wanted to come and to have a go at this because I watch all your videos. And so thanks ever so much for having me on. Very much appreciated.
No problem.
And I hope the Orcs can do you proud in the last 3 games.
I have every faith. They gave it a good go today. As long as they keep giving it a good go, that's all what matters. And as long as they kill stuff or injure stuff, Orcs will always class.
Well, we didn't lose, so that's the main thing, isn't it?
Orcs never lose when they kill stuff and injure stuff, so who cares? Yeah, exactly. And I just pray, make WeWire into the player I want him to be. That's how you can make me proud. If he does, I will mourn. I will mourn like losing a son. Because
it's a future legend, mate.
He is. I think he is.
You've tipped him early. Yeah. Piling on next, then probably strength, I think.
Yeah.
Then tackle.
Maybe he might get agility and become a Vampor. Strength 4, agility 4 down the line. Become a legend player. Win you the Rebbl Cup. He can do everything. That kid. Just got to keep alive, hasn't he?
Number 1 shirt, captain of the team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, that's us done then, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care, and we'll see you next week for next recap, where we'll have Hunter back, and I'm sure he'll have things to say. Okay, guys, take care, and thanks again to Zunk. Bye-bye.